Hello, Dominic Nguyen, and I'm going to go over the JSON code or the JavaScript code I have to insert JSON into my HTML. So what's happening here is I'm calling in a new request that's going to get this JSON file that we have for the project, and it's not going to send anything to the server because I don't need to send anything or send it wherever. And each HTML file has the script to load this content.js. And when it does, and when it loads, it's gonna go through here and populate whatever it needs to populate. What's happening here is it's just pulling the JSON text that I have into a JavaScript object to be looked at later in the code. Whoops. So first, variable of insert content, I have that in every if statement through here. Basically, which is going to be holding all the HTML that's going to be populating the sections I have. This products one is just the response object here, dot products, which is right here, and that's just to shorten out the code so I don't have to write response.object every time. Alright, and I'm inserting an H3 because the index, the H3 is inside this section and it would be overridden because I'm doing inner HTML instead of adjacent. This for loop will look at each of the featured articles that are on the page, and it will then look at the length, which is 8, and then start making 8 articles. We start off the article here. This whole section here is just for the image. What's happening here is if there's only one one object in the colors, let's go right here like this. It will just have a custom alt, which we can look at here. Milk crate basket that is in the color brown. That's what's happening here. Else, if it's longer, it will make a color string, which will then have a different one. This is for people, the alts. Sakura Ward Warrior that is in the colors black or white. And here's a longer one in the colors teal, brown, black, or red. And here it's just inserting the extra content, the meter, the star meter, the titled image, description, and here we can see that I'm checking if it's a sale item. If it is, it will cross out using a delete and then insert a regular amount right here. And if it isn't, it just puts the price. And a simple add to cart button and closing the article. Then it will select the featured section again and then insert the content. Let's close this. For members, this one is a lot simpler. It's just, oh yeah, and like products up here, I shortened it. So that's gonna be for everyone. Right here, it's just gonna go through the whole thing, and the only reason that it will be different if it's a newsletter, because the newsletter has a form right here. That which oh, whoops, I wasn't supposed to press that. That will send it through. Yep, and it's all in a list, and it's getting inserted. Let's close this, and let's go on to the next page, which is the products. Over here, I thought about just reusing the code in the featured for the products, but my design page, the design is different, so I had to, just rewrite everything. I probably could have kept the image in a separate function, but we can figure that out later. Oh yeah, so what's happening here is I decided that this page will have a maximum of 9 items on the page. And if the length of the products is actually less than 9, which usually it probably isn't, but if it is, just to avoid errors, it will set the item max to that product length. since this file only has, or the JSON file only has 8 items, it will set it to 8 and then populate. And basically the same thing's happening in the products except extra buttons and selecting and inserting. So we can just have a quick look. Yep, it just doesn't have the description. Later on I might actually decide to add a description, but I wanted to stay true to design. For club events, let's look. Right here, yep, here's all the club events. I was a little confused because these both repeated, but they have different data, so it doesn't matter. For club events, I did the same thing in products, just checking max length of 9, and then if there isn't enough products to populate, it'll set the item max to that. And here it's doing the same thing, just populating the insides. Recent posts. Let's go to blog. I have 2 IDs in it, which is recent post and then post. Recent post, it's just gonna look at the first 2 items in the JSON, so I guess the most recent, and it's gonna make a link, and click those, and they'll take you to the post. Down here for the actual content, like I did the others, item max, and if it isn't the max, we'll fix it. And an article for each. And that is basically all the code. Thank you for watching, and see you later.